that treble 20 bet.
Are you a fan of Go West, Rob? Because you're like the king of wishful thinking there.
Oh, right. I thought you meant the actual song.
I went the other way.
You did. Bit of a curveball there from your good self.
Campbell again just hanging on, but this is a very precarious situation. And even in this heat, Gilding looks really comfortable. He's not going to do double two. He's not going to do what Nick Kenny did yesterday. He's going to do something better.
Nick Kenny and somebody else, wasn't it? It happened twice yesterday. Anyway, my memory fails me for the time being. And despite Campbell racing out of the blocks in this one, with that 14-dart break and the 11-dart hold, it's Gilding who is first to match darts. And it's double four. And the UK Open champion, well, he had to survive a bit of a scare there, and he also had to survive a bit of a query at one point over the scoreboard, but he got down to business. And Andrew Gilding, in his third Euro Tour event of the year, is safely through to the final day. He beats Matt Campbell by 6 legs to 4.
Andrew, congratulations. It took you a bit of time to get going there. Never let in the game until you made it 5-4, but you got there in the end, and in the end was a decent average as well of 93.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Especially when dispute with the Canton. I wasn't sure what happened there. I was sure I hit a treble 20, but there you go.
I was going to say, the guys on commentary said as well, that's about as irritated as we've ever seen you on a dart stage.
Yeah, I was a bit miffed. Yeah, definitely. But I'm long enough in the tooth now to know to carry on and keep going.
It certainly worked for you. And I don't know if you realize, but when you come to the European Tour now, since you've won the UK Open title, the reception that you're getting, it has changed a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Everyone's clamoring for autographs and selfies, and I'm happy. Yeah, it's great. I like it.
Andrew, that's great to see, and we're happy to see you tomorrow on the final day of action. Well done, and best of luck tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, Goldfinger, Andrew Gilding. willkommen zurück zur Interwetten Austrian Darts Open 2023. Die zweite Runde live und präsentiert von der PDC Europe hier aus der Steiermark-Halle in Graz. Wir holen unsere nächsten beiden Spieler auf die Bühne und begrüßen aus Polen die aktuelle Nummer 19 der Welt. Ein World Matchplay Halbfinalist mit 9 PDC-Titeln. Hier kommt the Polish Eagle, Krzysztof Ratajski. Sein Gegner kommt aus Nordirland, die aktuelle 32 der Welt, mit einem Titel auf der Pro Tour. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? It's Rocky Josh Rock! Außerdem begrüßen wir auf der Bühne unseren Referee des nächsten Matches und das ist der Calculator, Kirk Bevins.
Here we go then. It is Krzysztof Ratajski against Josh Rock. All darts fans, much, because they're both in form and they will both fancy this. If we are going to get a game this afternoon that will produce something spectacular, it could well come from this one, because Ratajski, who had arguably his worst season for quite a few years in 2022, he's back. But Josh Rock, who is having his second album this year after a brilliant debut album last year, he is very much still in form, but hasn't really found winning form yet. In 2022, it took him quite a few months to get that first win. I wonder how long it will be before he gets his next one. He could even do it this weekend, but he's going to have to go through the Polish Eagle to get it. You've got Paul Nicholson here with Dan Dawson in a very hot Graz, and this is a very hot game.
Yeah, it really is. Two of the most consistent performers this year in Pro Tour events.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg, Josh to throw first. Game on.
The most consistent thing about meetings between these two is that Josh Rock wins them, or that was the case until very recently, where Ratajski got his first victory against the young man from Northern Ireland, went on to take the title, ending a wait of, look, it's only 18 months or so. He said it felt like 3 years. But such has been the consistent brilliance of Krzysztof Ratajski since he joined the PDC, that 18-month spell where his throws started to break down and he wasn't playing as well as he always seemed to do, that it felt really dramatic. He has not had a drop-off in form and a continued one in the likes of other players that we could mention. Ones who've, struggled. Ian White had a much bigger drop in form and it lasted longer.
81.
And he's not returned quite as dramatically as Krzysztof Ratajski has in recent weeks.
Do you remember an interview you did with him at the back end of 2021? Because he won Players' Championship 30, and you could see and hear from him in his somewhat broken English, because let's face it, his English is better than my Polish, but he was talking about how much he wanted to get at least one win in that season. And I think 2022 is something that doesn't sit well with him, because he'd won every single season before that, up to 2014. That was the last year he hadn't won anything. A long time for someone like Krzysztof. And I think getting that win early in the season, it's bad news for everybody else.
I think it is, because if he does get back to the old Krzysztof, and I still think he's got a little way to go, but if he does get back there, he's one of the best players in the world. But Josh Rock, this is a very strong opening leg, and that is double top pinned for a 13-darter. I can't help but feel that such has been the excitement and the hype around Josh Rock in his opening year, and every single bit of it fully justified, because look what he was doing, that there is a certain section of people who follow this game who are just waiting for him to fail, waiting for him to drop off. And the start of this year, they might go, look what he's doing. He's doing exactly what he did last year. He's averaging high 90s. There's only 5 players averaging more than him on the Pro Tour, the Players' Championship Series. He hasn't won a title yet, made a final. There's no real drop-off in Josh Rock. And I just don't see... He may have something like Ratajski. There may be something goes wrong with a throw or confidence or whatever. That could happen. It's almost certainly going to happen to him at some point in his career. But there's no sign of it.
Are they the same people who thought he should be in the Premier League?
Look, there's an argument. You get excited about any player, and then there'll be a section of people who just go, "Oh, why he hasn't won anything yet? Well, look what he's doing." Same with Van Dijvenbode. The way that they are playing suggests that even bigger things are to follow, and enjoy the things that they're doing right now anyway, because it's brilliant.
I just love the fact that we have so much evidence these days when it comes to stats, head-to-head records, that kind of thing. Josh is living in a very stat-crunching era. Is he going to crunch a 164? That was an excellent attempt. Ratajski breathes again. Double 16. This is a portion of the board that wasn't working as well in 2022. But it's back. He may have had some sort of separation anxiety from double 16 over the last year, but firmly best friends again.
Well, do you know what? He beat Owen Roloffs yesterday, young Dutchman making his Euro Tour debut, who seemed to have a whale of a time up on that stage, despite the fact he only won 2 legs. And Ratajski only averaged 93 in that game. I think a big portion of it was because he was finding himself on doubles that weren't double 16 and double 8 so much of that game. He was on tops, he was on 12s, he was on other doubles that he didn't really want to be on, and he missed a lot of them. And I think that's dragged his average down. If he can just get back to the very basic format of score well enough and score in the areas that you want to, because shots like that going into the 5, it messes up the numbers and you can find yourself not on the double that you want come the end of the day. But if he leaves double 16, at the minute, he looks like he's going to hit it 50%, maybe more than that.
This is the genius of James Wade, who's not in this tournament. But when you think about it for a second, how many times do you see James Wade on double 16? Almost never.
And part of that is, A, he's a very good player, but he stays straight. He doesn't miss big numbers a lot. All right, he's not in a treble every dart, but if he's coming away with ton, 40, 60, he knows where he's going to be. He's got a plan. And if you're not missing big numbers, you're going to get to the doubles that you want. And if you're good on particular doubles, that will help you. You'll become more dangerous. You'll have a higher average. You'll win more games.
Or in the Phil Taylor era, he was just good at tops and double 16.
Yeah. I mean, the alternative is you hit everything you're going for, and it doesn't matter. At the minute, Josh Rock looks like he can hit pretty much anything he wants, but that's got a bit tricky. Too tricky in the end.
94.
Now it's Ratajski's turn on a 164. He's going to go a different route. He'll feel the leg is over. And Josh can end it on double 18. Playing very well in this game is Josh. Beautifully crafted. Averaging 105 for the first 3 legs in this contest is Rock, who was in the venue quite early yesterday getting a practice with Rob Cross. And you'll see him this afternoon against Kuivenhoven, who can count himself rather lucky to be here.
Yeah, survived to come back like Kuivenhoven.
Did that guy in the crowd just have Walker FC on there?
He did. I don't think that's referring to our scalper Mark Walker. Might be.
I think that's a football team in the northeast of England on the banks of the Tyne.
99.
I may be
Some
wrong.
trip if he's come down here for this. But we are seeing more and more fans for the UK going, "Oh, let's get to a Euro tour. Which one should we go to?" You're spoiled for choice. Don't think they've come from Ireland.
This is a great stop on the tour, and we've got some great tournaments coming your way over the next few weeks. We're going to the likes of Leeuwarden next week in the Netherlands. We're going to Belgium the week after. And then it will be Prague. And back to Germany in the third week of May in one of the mainstay arenas, the Glaspalast in Sindelfingen. That will be hot there. And then the last one before the match play, Trier in Germany, before summertime darts in Blackpool. Not that I'm looking too far ahead.
Well, that's where a lot of these players are looking. It's the next big TV tournament for which they're trying to qualify. Yes, there's the World Cup coming up. And theoretically, Josh Rock could force his way into the reckoning for that Northern Ireland team. Krzysztof Ratajski is going to be there for Poland. But he might be going 3-1 down in this one. Because Josh Rock has got options here. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes on the 15s. Yeah, because that leaves double 12. That's a decent guide.
57.
Doesn't use it.
You know what I liked about that treble 15? It was nearer the treble 10. If you're going to miss a treble, you'd rather go to the treble 10 and treble 2. That's for sure. That's a great take from Ratajski because, let's face it, when your opponent who's averaging north of 100 misses a chance, you've got to be there to pounce, and he was there.
Yeah, and Tops wasn't his friend yesterday against Owen Roloff. He was finding trouble with it. But if he pin it first dart, any double's brilliant. But with Ratajski, the way his darts go in, if he misses high on Tops, the shot gets harder. Whereas double 16, double 8, the ones he tries to leave, if he misses outside, the shot can get easier.
We saw that from Mansell last night. He was having a nightmare on double top because he kept missing it about a centimetre high and he just couldn't get it underneath. You will see Sulevic tonight against Peter Wright, arguably the main course on the menu for tonight. But when it comes to the games that you got the rest of the afternoon, for me, this and Jonny Clayton against Klaasen, I think that headlines.
Yeah, Jelle Klaasen. Jelle Klaasen was, for a while and a long while, the best player on the European tour, apart from Michael van Gerwen. How he didn't win a number of these is largely down to MVG saving his best for Klaasen. He was superb for a long while. And he's had to rebuild his career completely. You know what? There's another example. Krzysztof Ratajski, his slump lasted a year, 18 months, and yet he was still competitive. It wasn't that dramatic a slide. Jelle Klaasen went off the tour entirely. That is a slump from right up near the top end of the game.
And still isn't on it, but he's here. Ratajski might find himself in the lead, and I'll be really interested to see what he does here. If you love tops, you might go treble 7, but I think treble 15 will call. That was not a good shot, but he's jagged this small 15. Which means one dart at double 16 is beckoning, and it's not. What's he doing here? 46, there's double 9 left.
Well, it's one of those shots that could actually help him in a way if he'd stayed in rhythm, if he knew what he was going for. He's already sort of got the line. But the maths confounded the Polish Eagle, and he might lose the leg. Missed a couple at double 12 in the last leg. Doesn't miss it this time.
What do you make of the conditions here this weekend? Because the heat has risen over the last 24 hours or so, and I don't think it's going to faze Krzysztof. It gets fairly warm in Poland, but the one European Tour event he has won was in Gibraltar, and it was very hot there.
Yeah, and he's never been a player to complain about the heat. I mean, his best TV run in the PDC was the match play semi-final, and we know how hot it gets there. He is a man who tends to keep his cool.
437.
The only time I've ever really seen him ruffled was when he was playing Clemens at the Worlds in that last leg decider. But then again, that was the last leg decider in the World Championship. Who wouldn't get ruffled?
Yeah, mismatched darts all over the place for the pair of them as it went all the way. Even the ice-cold Krzysztof Ratajski can feel pressure. It just takes extraordinary circumstances for that to happen.
The winner of this one will take on either the number 2 seed, Dave Chisnall, or Mickey Mansell. And that will be the next game. Amazing approach from Josh Rock, using the treble 18 to its full potential. I'm sure his practice partner was very proud of that shot. I'm almost surprised he didn't go for the treble 18 again.
Well, that would have been what his practice partner, Rob Cross, would have done.
You require 106.
He does use the bullseye, which Cross would have done as well, to get down to a finish below 81. Ratajski gets a dart at double 16. And he's not quite deadly enough on it.
You require 78.
Super close, but not close enough. And Rock has now got some reparation work to find. Treble 19 not found, and not getting a shot at double from 78 is an error.
32.
That can't be denied. What a marker. Surely. Can't find it.
16.
Well, that is a surprise.
40.
This could be daylight. Working his way in. A little shuffle to the right. And finds double top. Relief for Rock. And we do have our first breaker throw.
Did we just get our first no-look apology?
I'm not sure that's an apology.
Wipes the brow, no-look apology. Shouldn't apologise anyway. Are you aware of the tournament average record, Dan? Because we have been coming to the Austrian Darts Open since 2012, and it's had 4 different venues: Wiener Neustadt, Salzburg, Vienna, and here.
108.
Do you know what? I don't know off the top of my head.
Michael van Gerwen, of course, because he's never lost in Graz, and he also has the tournament average record set in 2017 of 115.57 against Crystal Reyes.
When was 2017? That would have been in... Where was that?
That was in Vienna. He beat Michael Smith in the final, one of the great Euro Tour finals back then. But the venue record here is held by someone who has been eliminated from this tournament yesterday.
130.
Who dat?
Madas Razma. 108.65 in beating Michael Rastovitz 6-0 last year. I wonder,
96.
in the heat, can somebody better that? Double top for Rock. 5-2 to Josh. He likes playing Ratajski, doesn't he?
Well, he's one leg away from a 5th victory in 6 against Krzysztof Ratajski. Ratajski's
57.
kind of continued at the same level he produced against Owen Rolos yesterday, which I didn't expect, but I also thought would not be enough against Josh Rock, because Rock is doing what he's been doing all year.
It's almost the kind of performance that we would have come to expect from Mensa Sudovic between the middle of 2016 and around the middle of 2019, when he was winning multiple tournaments like this, averaging between 98 and 102, and being really efficient on the doubles, getting lots of opportunities. If you can do that, you can do that kind of range with 45 to 50% in your doubles all the time, you're going to get a lot of titles. A lot of opportunities.
Yeah, look, we said it all the way through last year until he won a title. There is no reason with the way that he's playing that Josh Rock cannot win something this year, and maybe more than one thing. He's got that in the bag now. What's next? And a Euro Tour is well within his powers. He is playing at a level that rivals pretty much anybody on the tour, and he is doing it consistently, more consistently than the majority.
I think he just wants to win again.
434.
Am I right in thinking that being a top 32 player is not eligible for the World Youth Championship anymore?
No, World Youth, I think you're all right. I think it's just the development tour if you get in the top 32. Is that right?
Yeah,
I'll check that.
I think that's the case.
But this would have sealed the victory. The likelihood is he will get more chances. Krzysztof Ratajski was right in this game for the first 4 legs. He's faded Well, Josh Rock has continued, but double 17 to save his skin.
120.
And I think that little slump of the shoulders, Dan, tells you that Ratajski believes this game is out of his reach.
Of course he thinks that. Josh Rock. And Josh Rock almost always beats him, and he's done it again. The youngster from Northern Ireland, brilliant once more, 100 average, continuing to play world-class darts. And once again, he finds himself in the final day of a European Tour event. It could be a blockbuster tie with the number 2 seed Dave Chisnall, but Mickey Mansell will have something to say about that. That is our next game on stage here at the Intervet in Austria.